I have these little these like help massage your feet.
Yeah.
So I have them underneath the desk and they keep rolling away. So I have this other little tool that is supposed to break up like the fascia and it helps massage like your IT band and stuff. And I'm weird about how good the weird pain feels. And I get like if there's like a tender spot, like I rub it more, and now my legs are just full of bruises.
I think you and I probably subscribe to the same theory that if you have a sensitive spot on your leg or arm or shoulder, that the more attention you give it and the harder you press on it, the sooner it will feel better.
Yes.
And we wind up with bruises. And I do the
I have
same
bruises
thing.
everywhere.
And I keep asking myself, how many times do I need to keep touching the part that hurts to let myself know that it hurts before I realize that I'm not making it go away? I do it every time, every single time I do it. Every
I
time.
know, and I'm not going to stop.
Neither am I. Neither am I. I just feel like if I keep pushing the part that hurts more, then that will prevent me from having to go to the doctor and take care of anything that might be wrong. Oh man. So we have a lot going on this morning. First, I mean, I think we should congratulate our winner. What do you think?
Yes. So we are giving away these candles, stolen hoodie candles. They smell so good. They smell like men's cologne. And Kay, do they look like these ones? Do we know?
They got to. They must. They must. I'm going to assume that they do because those ones are some of the most comfortable hoodies I've ever worn.
Yeah, and I wear mine all the time. So we're giving those away. Congratulations to Cassie Reuter.
Or Casey Reuter.
Cassie.
Or Casey Router. Or Cassie or Cassette. Or it could be short for cassette.
It's cassette. It's cassette is what it is.
She is French. She is cassette.
So how come you told your family that you hated him yesterday?
I didn't tell my family I hated them.
I know you didn't.
Do you see this mug?
Unless you're new to the show, we say like blatant things about Ian Riley that we know he would never do or say. But yeah, I see that mug.
Animal Kingdom, Florida, Disney World. Okay. I'm hitting a wall because I understand that the people have different beliefs on COVID. I am in line with the majority of the scientists and the recommendations. Our family believes in sheltering in place, going out when necessary, wearing masks. And when we socialize, we wear masks. We're not isolated. We're just here. We're not going anywhere because, the nation for the most part is shut down, except for hotels, stuff like that. So, like my kids have their bedrooms that they can retreat to for school. My son has his ball python. That's awesome. My other kid is into jitter clicking right now, which is like an online thing, right? My wife has essentially taken over our bedroom, which for good reason, right? During the day, if she doesn't need to be at her office, she can do most of her work from home. That being said, 2 blocks away, she also has her own office. All right. I'm in the playroom right now on a table, which is fine. I'm fortunate to have the job.
I see your green screen. I was wondering because you look like you were in a new spot. You're usually not in that spot.
Yeah, no, this is the same spot. We've turned it into, it's like the little media center now because the kids also like to make videos. We've got the green screen. We're doing stuff like that. But I'm on an IKEA table, and in front of me are all of my kids' console games, and behind me is the exercise equipment and the green screen. And like this is my spot in the house, right? So like when we do our live stream, like we saw you a few minutes ago, Joey was coming down, and then you were trying to get him going for work or going for school, right? But you're downstairs. You're kind of in your own spot. Like every morning around 7:45, when we have a break and we're not talking on FaceTime or anything, it's a constant battle of, guys, come on, I told you between now and like 9:30, 10 o'clock, it needs to be quiet, It's like a constant every morning that has to be reminded. So there's just always people stuff going on. And then when we're done, it's me and the kids. And then Michelle she's got the door locked and a white noise machine on because she's got clients until 7:30 or so. So in this house, from when I get up and come out and talk to you until bedtime, I just don't have a spot where it's just me, right? So when the pandemic first started, I would go out on the back patio every night around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I would just listen to music and play games on my phone. And that was kind of my spot, right? Like nobody bothered me out there. That was like my hour.
Okay.
Well, Michelle started to miss me because that was kind of like we also never really connected for time to really sit down. And because of her work schedule, she really doesn't have time to do that either. And so then she started coming out and hanging out with me while I was doing my thing, right? And then how do you tell your wife, I don't want you hanging out with me right now, you know? So then that just sort of became the normal for the last few months. Was every night we would just sort of slip away, and our quiet away time from the kids was sort of out back. And so I just finally hit a wall yesterday where I got like a little weepy, and I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this. I don't want you here. And I don't want them here right now. I don't want any of you here right now. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to spend time with you right now. I do in an hour, but I don't right now.
That
Like,
had to be so hard for like everybody involved. Like
and,
it had to be
not
hard
to them.
to hear.
Never said that to the
It
kids.
had to be hard to say. It had to be harder for you to say than for her to hear.
Because it didn't just come out like that, because I felt so bad feeling that way, because it was just a conversation with her and I.
You gotta go.
I would never say that to the children ever.
Huh?
But see right there, like you get it, like right there, like you're doing stuff and then just everybody's always kind of there, right?
Yeah.
So like I felt so bad for feeling that way, because I would never say that to my kids. I was only talking to her, that I didn't come right out and say that. I started a fight, right? Like we argued about 4 different things before she finally looked at me and said, what is going on? What's the issue here? Because this doesn't make sense, right?
And it was just because you're just crowded. You're just overcrowded.
We were out in the garage when we were talking, and the garage is like my space, but it's not really. Like the garage is where I go to work, and the garage is dirty, it's filthy, it's covered in metal dust. Like I go to the garage to work, and then I come back in and I spend an hour showering and cleaning because it gets so dirty out there. That's not my spot. It's just a workplace, right? And
Yeah.
so she's like, what's going on? And I said, this garage is not my space, and you're here. And the backyard is not my space, and you're there. And the house is not my space, and the bedroom is not my space, and the office is not my space. I just, for the love of God, I love you all. Just go away, please, for like an hour.
So how did she handle it?
That changed everything. We went from fighting like cats and dogs for 15 minutes to like, let's come up with a solution.
Yeah, I had a feeling that she would be like your relationship is like that. Like your relationship, you both know when the other one kind of needs a break.
Right, we do. And for me, like you, everybody, people are going through like very serious things. I've got a couple of things that I'm going through right now that aren't serious, but I'm not used to them. I've spent, like, if we ever want to talk about mental health, because I don't know a ton about mental health, but I've spent 42 years of my life convinced that my baseline is happy, and that stuff like anxiety doesn't play a role in my life at all. Like I've always, like, since I've known you, or since you've known me, like my mantra has always been like, yeah, whatever, we'll wake up tomorrow, not a big deal. I didn't realize that I still had a ton on my mind, and that like anxiety was like a legit thing for me, and it was affecting me like physically.
You thought that way though.
Right.
I think the rest of us know that you have like who you actually are as a person.
Because Michelle got mad at me a couple of days ago when I finally like came to terms with it, because I went to the doctor and I was reading off the symptoms for anxiety after the doctor and everything, and I looked at her, I said, "Oh my God, I think I really do have anxiety." And she looked at me and she goes, "Okay, like I'm legitimately, genuinely pissed right now, but I'm not. Like I'm happy you're having a breakthrough. I'm happy you're having a moment. I've known you for 11 years, and for 11 years I have been telling you you have anxiety, and for 11 years you've been looking at me and saying you're
not like, and I love you, and I'm not trying to put you down, but you're not as chill as you think."
Right, and I'm learning that now.
And I had a realization about myself too. Like I'm not as like there was multiple red flags about me, even though I talk about dudes all the time. I know,
right?
Like, you're not as chill as you think you are. But you're super chill, and I love you to death. Like being able to put up with me is hard, but you're not like there are times where you get pretty upset, and it's not you being chill; it's you trying to be chill, but you're not.
And that's exactly it. I think like if I'm finally sitting back and looking at it, like now I get it. You know, like now I get that you and me are same on a lot of things. Like when it comes to radio, when it comes to prizes, when it comes to doing things, like if somebody comes up to me and says, "Can I please have that prize?" It's a $3 pair of sunglasses. Absolutely, you can. Can I have 2? I don't care. You know, like what do I care? Please take it. But when it comes to other things, like things like this, like I was arguing with her because as we're trying to like get ready to go somewhere, and this is like a normal thing. Somebody once told me that I'm habitually late, right? And so I flipped the script and I said, okay, now I will never be habitually late. I will always be right on time or habitually 5 minutes early. And if you get in the way of me doing that, I'm going to get upset with you. So like when the family's trying to go somewhere and I'm on a very strict timeline in my head and I've got it counting down, like we've got 7 minutes now to do this. Everybody needs to be in the car. We've got 3 minutes. We're 2 minutes behind it because of this. And now everybody's making us late. Right. And so she'll sit there and she'll tell me your anxiety is getting the best of you. You need to knock it off. And I'll be telling her, I don't have anxiety. We have a plan and you guys aren't doing it. And that's why we're behind. It's not anxiety. If you did it the way we were supposed to be doing it, I wouldn't be upset. It's your fault, not mine. And it's taken me 42 years to realize that's me being controlling and having anxiety.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to pile on something you already know.
So that mixed in with, so anyway, that was just something that like I learned medically with the doctor and stuff like that this past week. So that's been hard for me to really kind of take in because I always thought that I was super understanding, but also totally fine, you know? Like I always thought I was coming from this place of like, yeah, your anxiety looks like it sucks. And here's what you need to do so that you can be more like me. Not realizing that, you know,
yeah,
I'm one of the biggest offenders. So that mixed in with just everybody being on top of everybody. I just had like a 42-year-old man temper tantrum breakdown this weekend. And it was probably one of the best things. Like then we actually talked because I think for the last few months, because of quarantine, I've been picking little fights to try and get some separation and some, please don't be around me. Like I can pick like a little micro fight.
Tell her like, I just need a little bit of a break. See,
because
like,
I felt, because I feel bad.
I don't feel like a jerk for needing alone time. I think that's what's happened for the best for me during this is that I finally realized that I really like being alone.
And maybe if I'm going glasses half full, maybe that's my glasses half full here, is I've realized that it's okay to look at my wife and say something that I would think would otherwise hurt somebody else's feelings, but trust that because she's my wife, she'll understand. I should be able to look at her and say, gosh, yeah.
And you should. And I think you do that to yourself because as soon as you started this story, when you said, I looked at Michelle and said, I love you, but I just need an hour. I'm like, I think she would understand that.
She absolutely would. It's in my head. My head tells me that I can't be honest like that.
I mean, it's
gotta hurt somebody's feelings
from your past that you gotta. I mean, I'm not the therapist or anything, but something that messed you up from the past.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. It's avoidance. I don't want to tell people uncomfortable things. I just don't. I never have. I don't like uncomfortable things. I like happy things. If things are uncomfortable, I can't. You know. Yeah, I avoid. And so I was avoiding telling her that you're up in my business right now, and I need you to take 3 steps back. And so instead, I chose the super grown-up option of picking little micro fights because it's easier for her to go in her bedroom and shut the door and let me walk away than telling her something uncomfortable like, I just need to not be around you right now.
And we know what you're doing. Like, we know when a man is starting fights with us because of something that's going on with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if we look at you and go, this is about you. They're like, oh, you crazy pants. No, this is about you.
Yeah. No, all of it was quote justified anxiety. All of it was I wouldn't be anxious right now if you were doing everything exactly as I have it planned out. And that's not healthy, right? So like I'm finally learning after 42 years that maybe I should be okay with like giving a little away, giving a little up, you know? So yeah, so that's why I told my wife for the first time in 40, ever, I need you to go away. And she's told me a million times, like this isn't new in our marriage. She's told me since we first got together. She was pregnant 5 months after her and I first met. So she has been telling me since 5 months after we first met, dude, you are too much right now. I need a break, right? I should be okay with this. And I'm not offended when she tells me because I know who I am. I know I pace in front of her back and forth when I'm bored. And I know that I have an expectation that she's going to entertain me. I get it. I know that I'm bad like that. But I also have a hard time just looking at her and saying, go away.
Just do it. All right, you guys, we are giving away these stolen hoodie candles.
Yes.
And
congratulations, Casey.
Hashtag K-Hop stolen hoodie. Hold on, Joey. We'll talk about the other thing tomorrow.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry. I feel like I dominated that whole conversation. I didn't mean to, but
Oh no.
yeah.
I'm glad we talked about it. And it's Mommy Joey week. He's, you know, I don't want to talk about, because the reason that he doesn't need to hear it. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's in the middle of school or something, okay? And it's not important. So I'm glad that we talked about what you did. Yeah.
You
and
just Ryan Seacrested everybody. You literally just Ryan Seacrested everybody. And the winner of Madden and Riley's Facebook Live and $1 trillion is something we'll talk about tomorrow when the kids are in school.
No, like, it's nothing to lose sleep over. It's just a funny little thing, but he doesn't need to hear it. So we'll talk about it tomorrow, you guys. Bye.